My mic was muted. I do that every time. If I didn't do it, then it wouldn't be the right way to start a stream, would it now? Thank you all for being here. I can see we've got 8 people already watching. Hello, guys. I will keep an eye on the comments. Oh, Tim Baxter says, waiting for this. Hi, Tim. How you doing? Yeah, and so obviously I'm hoping that you guys know what this stream is going to be all about. So we have 2 amazing people that are going to be joining us, and that is Guy Tansley and Andrew Smith. So without further ado, let's just bring them onto the screen so that you guys can say hello. So here we go. Here's Guy and Andrew. Hello, hello. So I'm going to ask you both to introduce yourselves so that if there is anybody watching and they don't know who you are, which is very bad if they don't know who you are, then obviously you can tell them. So whatever way you want to go with it. Go on, Andrew, you first.
My name is Andrew Smith, and how to describe myself? I suppose an arachnologist, but not in the sense of, the spiders. It's more increasingly over the years, the arachno history. I'm fascinated by, if you want, the story behind the spider, not just the spider themselves, but also, I must admit, the actual adventure of going to find the spiders, strolling through deserts or rainforests or grasslands, what happens to be. But in the end, at the back of my mind is always telling the story, what is behind the spider, the collectors, right? The story itself, because usually it's a damn good adventure.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. I wish that I could join you one day, maybe. And Guy, that way.
Hi, Guy Tansley, long-time spider enthusiast, ex-BTS member. Sorry, not member. I'm still a member.
You're still a member.
Ex-BTS committee, of course. Long-term member of BTS. Just a huge fan of tarantulas. Been keeping them for probably longer than I'd care to admit, maybe 40 odd years.
Wow.
40 odd years in the hobby. Kept lots of spiders, and now part of Andrew's team for all my sins.
You'd love it, really.
That we're about to talk about today.
Yes, so we are here to talk about the brand spanking new documentary, the Theraphosa and Ephebopus. I can never say it properly. Ephebopus, yes. Suriname's giant forest floor tarantulas. Now I have watched it. I binge watched it today, believe it or not. I wanted it to be fresh in my head, and I must say I was absolutely blown away. It was so captivating, and the way that you actually do this, where you talk about the history first, and that's the stuff that nobody really knows, and to know that you can find all of that out and then relay it all to us is just outstanding. And knowing the history is just absolutely fantastic. I was going to ask you, Andrew, where do you actually find all the information from? Is it from your massive book collection that we always see behind you? Or is it just knowledge of people that you know? Is it just people you know?
No, it's I initially left uni as a historian. That's my degree is in history, economic history, and my first 4 or 5 years of teaching was teaching history. So there's the bias. I actually then, when the old ILEA broke up when I was a young teacher, I retrained to become a science teacher. So primary science teacher. So then I began to combine obviously my passion with history, which is why I am a historian, with my new passion of tarantula spiders. So the two make a kind of wonderful combination, if you like. But it's archives. The reason why we're coming up with this totally unique information is that I'm now almost 70 years old. Okay, so I've been doing this for a seriously long time. But I spent every summer holiday as a young teacher in the British Museum of Natural History Archives, going through. I have a huge database. So you guys have got no idea how many more big stories I've got to tell. Guy thinks, we're going to be doing this in 10 years' time. I got projects after project, right? Adventure after adventure, guys, okay? So, there's no stopping me.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because we had a comment before we actually went live. I'll show it up on the screen from Earth's geomancer, I believe. So he's at work, or she's at work, and they're saying, are you interested in making a documentary on a Xenithus species? Have you got that in the pipeline?
Yeah, I must admit, I would be excited about the idea because it's got a great bit of history behind it. There's a really fascinating character. A bit like when we did the African documentary, it's kind of crochet. Okay, it is all about crochet. Elephant hunter, lion hunter, tarantula hunter. Okay, and believe it or not, Colombia's got a similar bloke. This is a kind of classic, fascinating character that really intrigues me. He's basically a Jewish guy from the East End. 1850s, 1860s. He then becomes a gold prospector. He becomes a mercenary. He goes into the British Army in South Africa. This is a guy that's kind of living as a rough rider, if you want. He's got, Lee Enfield rifle slung over his shoulder, and then he goes off to the Americas to collect spiders for the British Museum of Natural History. So yeah, we will do Xenithus. There's no doubt about it. Although it is Colombia, which will make life very, very interesting, right? So obviously, right, we're going to be in the middle of nowhere. So you're talking about an awful lot of drug cartels, etc. Once again, to negotiate.
Named up for that one, guy.
I've got my bags packed already.
Yes. Guy likes an adventure, right? Yeah. I'm still trying to convince him to go to Nigeria, though. His wife will let him go. Right?
There was also one thing as well that I noted when I was watching, and because I've taken a few screenshots, just because I wanted to show them and then ask you questions. So let me just find it first. Look, they're all in wrong order because I was doing it all too quickly. Where's it gone? It was basically where you're holding the book. Is it Monography de Spinning? Have I said that right?
Yeah,
that book you mentioned that it's really rare. How rare is that book?
The actual book I'm holding, is a published monography. So basically, I think it must be about 30 years. So even that book now is probably you will be able to buy it. You'll have to hunt it down, but it's based on 5 books. There we are. Right, that are in various German archives, and they're so rare. They don't even refer to them as a title. They simply refer to each book as a number, right?
No
and
way.
I mean, there would have been. This is the age-old problem when you're looking at something which was published in tiny little quantities, little numbers, and 250 odd years later, or 200 years, 150. You're looking at basically an awful lot of copies that have just disappeared. And then, of course, most of them were in Germany. So during the war, the Allied bombers wiped out so many libraries and archives. A lot of this stuff just disappeared in flames. So now you're reduced down to I think there's about 5 copies, including one in the King Charles's collection. King Charles, believe it or not, has an amazing collection of books. Yeah, and some really rare stuff as well. Not he's allowed me into his archive, mind you. I go and knock on the gate. Right, hey Charles, fancy looking, right? But no. So far I've been escorted to the gate and kicked back out again, right?
No, he should let you in.
Yeah, I think so as well. Right. Yeah, my grandfather was a lifeguard. One of his grandfather's kind of bodyguard, if you want. So maybe I could slip him right in a uniform.
Do it. You got to try it, and then make that into a documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Then
That'd
we film
be
everything.
Cool.
Yeah, guy at my side, right? We're throwing out again.
Right, let's do a quick say hello to some of the people that are in the chat that are commenting. So we have we have a look, get this one up. We have BTS Lectures and Dinner official. I'm not sure actually what person it is that's there, but saying evening all. I imagine it could be Mark, maybe. Yeah,
it's got to be in it.
But anybody that's watching, if you haven't subscribed to that channel, then you need to go and subscribe to it, please. We also, huh? Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear you. Or did you not say anything? Right. I don't know.
Obviously the BTS Lectures and Dinner, we'll probably be showing one of our docs right there.
Yes, you always do. Well, if you've got one, don't you? Definitely. That's one of the definite things that I look forward to. Just watching it with everybody, even if I've already seen it, it doesn't matter. Watching it with everybody is completely different. It's like watching a football game.
Yeah, it is right. And we do actually have a secret doc that nobody knows anything about. We actually, believe it or not, in Suriname, we didn't shoot just 2 documentaries. We shot a 3rd documentary. That was a psychological slip. Right? We shot a 3rd documentary that nobody knows anything about. It's our little secret, right? Yeah, we may reveal that next year. Right.
This is live. I can't edit it.
No,
No,
let's go with it. Oh.
We always tend to premiere stuff at the lectures.
Yeah.
Because of the time we're working on the documentary, usually at the end of the year. So by March, we've usually got most things sorted out. So the lectures is a great way to just premiere, not the whole thing, just give like a good half an hour and give a talk about the current project. So
absolutely,
it's the best place to get the first view. The people who go to the lectures get the first look at the actual documentary. So it's definitely worth going to that. Yeah,
it's a huge reason to go, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. We've also got Sharon Floyd here. Hi, Sharon. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you then.
Okay. Yeah.
And then my husband is here too, Chris. Oh. But he's sitting right opposite me. yeah, he's in the chat.
Hello.
Hello.
You've got lag.
Yeah, well, you've got lag. So we also have Tarantulas. Nice name. Hey, everybody. Hey to you too. Oh, look, good evening from Germany. Karo Kianich. I hope I didn't ruin that there. Maybe I probably did. And Tim Baxter, of course, who we said hello to earlier. There's not that many people that have commented, which is fine.
That's fine.
People just want to watch, which is absolutely fine. Yes. Brilliant. Right. Let me see what else I've got on here then. Oh, the one thing that did laugh, and I perhaps shouldn't have laughed at it in the documentary, was when you mentioned about children putting a lead around a Theraphosa and walking it like a pet dog. And it made me chuckle because I thought, I bet you there's some people out there that would love to do that. Obviously not. I am not recommending it, not at all. But it did make me chuckle. But like, is that actually something that they really did do? I can't even imagine how you get a lead on it.
We have one reference, okay, by Bates, and Bates is kind of one of my heroes. This is a guy that spent almost a decade in the rainforest of South America, working the Amazon for medicinal purposes. And he was the first one to actually confirm Madame Merriam's idea that these spiders can actually eat birds. It hadn't been seen, and Merriam was, when she did the painting, was pretty much mocked. They simply said, this is a woman making up rubbish, basically. And then 200 years later, Bates sees the same thing, right, on the Amazon. And obviously, people go, and there were attempts, believe it or not, to actually feed tarantula spiders sparrows. Okay, which really? The average tarantula face for a sparrow would go, good God, right? But people forget, of course, right, they were actually feeding on hummingbirds, which is about the size of a 50p piece, some of them were South American jobs. So it put it in context, it actually becomes quite relevant. And Bates actually observed, right, one of these spiders. But he also, in his book, right, on the Amazon, talks about entering a little village and the children having these tarantulas on leads. They're probably males that wandered in, and the kids being kids, so just immediately put a little piece of string on them and allowed them to walk across the camp, probably. But he made lots of observations like that.
That's crazy.
And that's why as you're a historian, they're just brilliant, right? In the sense
I know.
of, I mean, we tell you some of the legends, don't we, as well, in the documentary, which are totally far-fetched, you know, right? And they're gorgeous because you gather all this stuff that would be forgotten, right? In fact, probably the people that wrote it would like you to forget it as well. But I dig it all up, right, and then present it, right, for posterity.
Yeah, the chasing the horse, if I remember right.
Oh, that's brilliant. I just love that one. Right, I'm just waiting to be filmed by Guy, okay, racing across the pampas, okay, and being pursued by a spider. as I, my whip, right, it jumps on the whip, right, and I fling my whip, right, you know, right, you've got to be, right, we're going to film that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
We'll have to have one of those little trolleys. So
No.
the guy's racing along on a car right beside me and one on the horse, right, with the camera on top of it.
No. I keep
We've been
trying to
trying-
remind you, Andy, we have zero budget for these
This is true.
documentaries.
But we are very imaginative. We come up with all sorts of amazing stuff, right, basically. You guys have got no idea what we can do on a micro budget with no money whatsoever.
You can do anything. And I think as well, this is
we commando film. We took over the Madras Museum for something like an hour and a half before they finally realised what was going on, and then literally, right, did all that location in the Madras Museum, and then disappeared quietly before anybody could actually catch up with us.
Nothing to see here.
Like that. Yeah, bye. Right, we just took over the museum and they just filmed all those footage basically. Right. We've often arrived at museums and found them empty, right? Whereupon we immediately was that one Southern India, you know, the one we walked into. There was nobody there, so we actually did a whole load of footage in the basement and then kind of wandered up and then met somebody. But yeah, right. Yeah. And the train footage in Brachypelma as well, right? That was just the final scene, which you don't get to see as we packed all the cameras and legged it, with the security guards running along as me and Paul Carpenter dived into a car and drove off.
Why did you not include that? That would have been great.
Yeah.
But this might be then. Yeah. This might be a good point then to actually give a big massive thanks to everybody that supported the documentary through Kickstarter. So yeah. I've got some of the names here, which obviously are from the credits that are on the documentary itself. So I can recognise a fair few names that are in that list, which is fantastic. And then I think we have some more here. Yeah, on the right-hand side, if it's the same way you're looking.
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean,
the producers and the executive producers were through Kickstarter as well. So
oh really? Yeah. See,
basically, different tiers of rewards.
Yeah. So I mean, just like if it wasn't for them as well helping, and that's just incredible. And everybody getting behind you just shows that, you know, us as hobbyists, we want you to do this because we can't do it, but we know you guys can. And then you're producing the DVD, and again, it's for us, really. I mean, it's we're just we're cracking the whip. But it's brilliant. It really is, and the support that you've had is just amazing. And then obviously, when you're going to be doing your next one, I'm assuming you'll do a Kickstarter again.
Yep, yeah, we're preparing it as you speak.
There you go. See, that was another question I had. Go on.
Well, the next one we're doing is Costa Rica. Okay, so especially the tarantulas of Costa Rica, right? And we've done all the footage. We've shot the most amazing footage. If you think, okay, the Pokey footage was brilliant, if you think the Theraphosa footage was brilliant, you want to see the Costa Rican footage. We've filmed, you know, all of the key spiders, and wow. It's absolutely scrumptious, basically. And again, all of them have got brilliant stories behind them. So we're looking at big, epic kind of. I mean, obviously we'll do again, probably again something like 2.5 hours, and we'll split it right basically in half. So you've got two separate documentaries. But we've got an awful lot of spiders we filmed. We've got an awful lot of stories to tell behind those spiders. All right, and so it was a great road trip. All right.
That's awesome. There's a couple more people that have joined that we're yet to say hello to. So we've got Laura Red Ed. Hi Laura, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. And Samantha Holloway. Hi. I think you was here earlier. I saw a comment, so sorry that I didn't flash that one up. We've got just ordered the new DVD. Can't believe I missed that. It's already out. There you go. Absolutely. And where can we order the new DVD? Just for anybody that wants to know.
Because this is the official launch date. So the Kickstarters always get early access. So they got their links to download it, and the DVDs have been sent out, and all the merch, like the T-shirt that you're wearing there. as a reward tiers. They've all gone out last week, so you always get like sort of first look at it. So now the website, if you actually go to the website, I just made that live today, so you can actually order the DVDs and the downloads from now. Yeah, it's actually live.
That's awesome. So just at lovetarantulas.com.
Yeah, it's on the front page there. You just click through it and you can order that, and you can order any of the documentaries now. There's quite a few now, so downloads or DVDs.
Perfect. There you go, people. So if you want to grab your hands on a download or the DVD, head to lovetarantulas.com, where you will find it now officially launched for everybody to purchase, which is brilliant. However, I do believe we may be giving away a cheeky DVD.
Yeah, we've got we can give away a DVD if you want to do a giveaway, and we can maybe give away a download as well. So
I think we should.
So
I think we should. We'll wait.
We've got mugs as well, so we've got like sort of little mugs with the logo on there, with the Theraphosa logo on, and the Love Tarantulas there, which I passed on to Andy at the weekend. So we're going to do 3 things. We can give away a DVD, we can give away a download, and we'll give away a mug.
Awesome stuff. So we'll wait for a bit longer for other people to join. But so be here, stay, continue watching, because if you're not in the chat, then you're not going to have a chance to be in with winning those amazing items. So let's have another quick look. I'm sure there were some other people. We've got Spiders. So that is the wonderful Andy. How are you doing? It's been a while. Oh, sorry. Tim says every film needs a car chase. There you go. You see,
what a great idea.
A great idea. We've got Rob Harvey. Hi. Thank you for joining. Steve LaRue. Thank you for joining. Paul. Let's get this one up. Paul says, when it is the latest videos available to download? Now. Go over to lovetarantulas.com and you'll be able to get it from there now. Who else have we got? Oh, so we have a question here from Latro696 says, hi, do you have any plans to make a documentary on European tarantulas? Done, or
there's some nice history behind them, but basically they're kind of tiny, basically, and I mean, so I hate to say this, but no. And plus the fact we've got so many projects planned for the future. I think
remember Andy he's nearly 70. So
I'll still be doing this when I'm 85, mind you, right? The guy is definitely keeping up with me at the moment, right? So when I'm 85, right, I'm going to be really, oofing it up the old hillsides, right, basically. All right, so
just need a human-sized drone.
Yeah.
So European stuff. I think with Andy, we've got to be quite selective. We've got to choose a nice-looking spider, and a spider which has got history, but also a spider that everybody knows. So the more popular the spider is in the hobby, the more likely you are to get interest in it. Because I'm sure there's some great spiders which have got great history, but are really small and brown and boring. Sorry, Stuart, if you're watching. All brown spiders, but you're not really going to get much attention for a tiny small spider. And most of the European stuff, unfortunately, is quite small and brown.
Yeah.
So we've got to find a combination between. It gets increasingly hard to find a spider which is attractive to look at, which is popular in the hobby, and which has got a good story.
Yeah, so they've got to hit all those kind of things on the head to be able to. Yeah, a bit like the X Factor, They've all got to have the X Factor.
Yeah, they've got to tick certain boxes, yeah.
Yeah. So, Aloha Tarantula, Susan Elizabeth says, hi, guys, and Andrew, the legend. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We've got here Carl. It says, hi, you're a great documentary, Brian, Andrew. Love it.
Carl's one of the Kickstarters. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is a fantastic documentary. It is. Trying to listen while looking like I'm actually working. This is difficult. Russell, you've got to work. No, don't. Watch this instead. What does Tim say? Would love to see a scorpion documentary. Mr. Pocock is one of my heroes. Would that be something you would be interested in?
Believe it or not, I actually believe long while ago we did a whole series of documentaries, right? When we're talking about 30 odd years ago now, right? Desert Tarantulas was one, right? And we did another one, Earth Tigers, and we actually started a documentary on scorpions. Right? We actually I think we shot it in North Africa and Gambia, Pandanus, and a couple of. We actually did quite a lot of the footage, and then we abandoned the project primarily because we published a book called Scorpions of Medical Importance, which is one of the finest books Fitzgerald ever published, and it bombed. It did really, really badly. And Tim Fitzgerald, who was the producer and obviously the owner of the publishing company that I was working with at the time, simply said, "Forget it. Right, I'm not investing any more money in this project," and he pulled the rug out of it. So, unfortunately, scorpions are tarantulas are a minority interest. Scorpions are a sub-minority interest. I think both me and Guy would like to do a documentary of scorpions. We both come across them all the time. We've actually got an awful lot of stock footage hidden away in our archives. So it is a project we could do, as long as we could do it cheaply. Because you have to remember that the projects cost about £10,000 to put together. That's a lot of money. So if we can do it as a side project, we can carry it off. But we couldn't do it as a project by itself. It should be too expensive. But on the other hand, virtually every documentary we've made so far, I think, Guy, haven't we? We filmed scorpions at some point as well in it. We just never used the footage, but it's there.
Yeah, everywhere.
In this one,
yeah,
you did.
yeah, quite a feisty one, that.
I can imagine. It looks it.
Yes, right. Yeah, that you've been done with one of those hits you. And so Troy does
we find them all the time. So there is quite a lot in there, and there's tons of footage of all the other animals we come across as well. But because we can't really make a 10-hour documentary as much as Andy would like to, we've got to sort of stick to the spiders. So there's tons of sort of B-roll, as it was called, of all the other things we've seen. Because I'm interested in all things beetles and spiders and scorpions and everything. So it's quite there's quite a lot out there. So maybe one day we will get all that footage back together and make something out of it if there's enough.
Yeah. Guy even likes toads. I honestly thought you was going to kiss that toad. Quite disappointed that you didn't, but
actually, it was a beautiful princess, and then I kissed her and she turned into a toad.
You did say they're poisonous. Did you say poisonous? So
yes.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I've been told you can lick their bellies, though. We haven't done that yet.
Sorry.
Right.
You can lick what?
Their bellies. It seems I've been assured by
the bellies under their backs. Lick the backs.
She said that they passed the toad around and licked their bellies.
No, the backs.
She was Australian, right? Huh? Their backs. She said maybe you get a.
There's no toxins on its underside. It's all on the. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Drink, right? Yeah.
So you did come across you were showing in this documentary quite a few different species. So I mean that's just I don't know the species there.
Yeah, that was a really nice one. That's a nice metallic blue. Really metallic blue and quite big as well. So these are the advantages of doing stuff at night time. Things like that you never see during the daytime. During the night time, it was just out on the path because obviously it's a huntsman. It doesn't spin any silk. Free living, free roaming. So yeah, you can see all these amazing things when you're out at night time. And of course, incredible. Wandering spiders, So you got to be careful when you're out and about. Yeah.
A time bomb there.
Yeah, the biological landmine, as they're called.
That's it, landmine. Yeah.
Because if you stand on one, you'll regret it. So yeah, now there is lots of other things in the documentaries, but of course it is tarantula focused.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, but you do add quite a few things in, which is good to see. So just seeing you out, you know, in the nature, if you like, and you're looking for the rodent holes as whereas you normally find a Theraphosa. That in itself was just fascinating for me to see you doing that. And I did wonder to myself whilst I was watching it, like, what happens to the rodents that may well be in the hole? But you answered my question by simply telling me about the urticating hairs. Now I've got a little clip that I'll show because this blew me away. Look at all those hairs. Now, yeah, I'm not sure I'd want a face full of that. So if there are rodents in the burrow, then that's how they're
evicted. If it gets
evicted.
between your fingers, you know all about it. It's really, really itchy. It drives you bananas, right, basically.
I can imagine.
Right.
I can imagine. I wouldn't. I mean, I had a Theraphosa apophysis, and that flicked hairs at me, and I was itching for quite a few days, like up my neck, and yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, thank you, but no, thank you for the hairs. But yeah, so getting back to obviously the DVD itself. So the main focus of it is that you're looking for the Theraphosa blondie.
Yeah.
Is that right? First.
Yeah.
But then obviously you go back and you show footage from when you were in Suriname in 2012. And just that footage, I mean, you say it's VHS quality, but it wasn't. It was great to watch. It was great to see, obviously, that you collected all that footage back then of what you thought was the Theraphosa blondie. So I don't want to feel like I won't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it. But
I think you can't talk about it because we sort of made that announcement a week ago. So yeah, basically we went out there in 2012 to film Blondie, and we found it and filmed it. And then when we came back, we were basically, hi Jeremy.
No, sorry I'm late.
All right. When we came back, we looked at the photographs, and all of a sudden we were like, this looks completely different to the Blondie which is in the hobby. And went back over the photographs, and then sort of over the years just went off to different projects, and then always had in their mind to go back to Suriname to investigate the possibility that it could be something different or different enough from the Blondie that we all know and love. So it could be something different, and that was the mission basically to the revisit in 2022, was to go back, relocate them spiders, go to the same points, and then re-examine the spider and see if it actually was different enough to be described as something different.
So this was you in 2012.
Yeah.
And then obviously you don't look much different. Jeremy, I think you might have some feedback coming through. I'm not sure.
Is that from me? Okay. Let me switch to my phone.
That's all right. No worries. Yeah, so you don't look much different. But obviously one big thing that was very different was where you stayed in 2012 to then when you stayed in 2022. I mean, that must have been a big shame for you, because that was a perfect location where you was in 2012. It was the Eco Lodge?
Yeah, Babin Hall.
Yeah, and then obviously going back and seeing it in the state that it was, that must have been
bad for us, great for wildlife, because there's nobody there now.
Oh, of course. Yeah, great. Yeah, fantastic for wildlife.
The foresters reclaimed that site, but it's such a shame, because it would have been great to go back to the same spot, because it was right on the river, spiders all around, great for night walks, perfect location.
Yeah.
And when we went back, we couldn't even take the hire car up the road up to the location, because the roads were so bad. So we had to hike every single day, and it took we initially thought, it's only like It'll probably only take half an hour to walk it. But of course, driving and walking is completely different. We totally underestimated it. And it was like 2.5 hour walk from the road to the river in like 30 degrees heat. And at midday, there's always is with Andy. Mad Dog's an Englishman, and Andy Smith go out at midday.
The trouble is, we've always been working the night before, so it's we basically get back from where we're doing, sleep, and then hit the road again. So, but the daytime is just reconnaissance. It's generally the time the spider is often nighttime. If we find the spider, we often then camp beside it. Like the Babenholz site, we actually did most of the Ephebopus Murinus footage was actually shot there. As ironically, in 2012, we shot most of the footage there. And when we were actually walking down that hike, which was, as Guy said, was seriously long and hot, we were busily working the road at the same time. And we actually did find a really decent female, didn't we, that we actually used in the documentary. But what really surprised us is that there was a lot more spiders in 2012. And we have this problem all the time. We're going back to places after a decade and finding there are a lot less spiders than there used to be, for whatever reason that happens to be. Right? Maybe it's simply there's been drought or whatever. Obviously, in Suriname, there's been massive flooding, which didn't help.
Yes.
Right, which had wiped out all of the eco lodges on the Suriname River. Right, but we were lucky, as usual. I've got a superb team. I mean, me and Guy work with some of the best, if you want, field collectors in the world. These guys have been doing this for a seriously long time. Ben Vignold, Stuart, Paul Carpenter. So our team is superb. And if there's any tarantulas to be found, our team will find it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I did put another screenshot of you collecting. So that was the specimen that you found in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your 2022 collecting there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was great that you did manage to actually find the specimen again. Because obviously, if you hadn't, it would have been,
Yeah, that is always a disaster.
Yeah, a disaster. Yeah, there you go. That was you collecting it in 2012. Obviously, it was put back, guys. Don't worry. If you watch DVDs, any of Andrew's DVDs, in fact, you will know that he always says, "Is it take photographs but take nothing but photographs and leave nothing but footprints behind." Absolutely, fantastic.
I stole that quote from David Bellamy. I had donkeys years ago. The most wonderful individual. Unfortunately, he's popped his clogs I think about a year and a half ago, 2 years. But David Bellamy was the amazing man to know, basically. Incredible. Right,
he was.
Great conservationist as well.
Well, his saying lives on with you and in your DVDs, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And just going back to obviously you sleeping, I had to show Stuart Longhorn, there you go, sleeping on a couple of chairs. How he did that, I don't know, because I don't think I could have. And I probably next time I see him, I'll be asking him, "Can you just literally sleep?"
It's not glamorous at all. I'm afraid this is real life.
There you go, real life there.
Yeah, that was one of the main nights that we went out, and I think we left at about 7 o'clock at night. We didn't get back till 4 in the morning.
Wow.
We were just walking the trails and filming and photographing everything. That's when that toad was found. And then we got back to the base camp. That's on Brownsburg Mountain, that section. And I think we had those three, maybe not Ben, but Andy and Stuart had about 2 hours sleep. I couldn't sleep, basically because there was a huge lamp in the middle of the place where we were sitting, as you've seen, and it was just a great attractant for moths and beetles.
Yes.
So I spent 2 hours taking lots of photographs. And then
now I know what you were doing when I was asleep, right?
And then the sun came up at about 6 o'clock in the morning again. So we got back to there. They went to sleep at 4 a.m. We got back up at 6. We had like a cup of coffee and some energy bars. And then we walked back down the trail for another 8 hours and got picked up at the bottom.
Wow.
We were absolutely Ruined.
I bet you was. I bet you was.
Legs like jelly by the end. But that's what
It was a great day out.
It was. It was.
Great-
It was one
a
of the
great
best days.
day
Looking
out.
back, it was brilliant at the time. At the time.
Yeah. That happens often. I find his hands reaching towards my throat, right?
But that just
yeah.
goes to show the reality of like looking for these animals. You know, you see a lot of these videos on YouTube where, you know, there's every second there's a clip of someone standing with the animal and showcasing the animal. But, you know, it's nice to see that you guys showcase that it takes a lot of hours. And even if you find something that could be what you're looking for, it doesn't necessarily guarantee, you know, as you were saying, a lot of burrows are either empty or they had like a different invertebrate or vertebrate inside. So I really like that you showcase those on the documentaries. It's really nice.
A lot of major documentaries, though, of course, they all cheat. They just take the animals with them. You're not gonna spend a huge budget and have a semi-famous person present it and then just go, oh, we didn't find it.
Whereas you guys actually say, I did find a toad in the hole.
That toad was so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
said,
yeah, we could do
reminds you of school
that.
dinners.
It'd be quite easy to just fly in with the spiders in your bag and then put them in location and shoot them and then put them back and then bring them home. Obviously, not let them go. But then there's
What's
huge
the fun with that, though?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's much more exciting to actually find what you're looking for and it be that wild
it's because they have such big budgets. They just can't take a chance. And we just hoof it. It's a commando film. And although everybody's thinking use £10,000 budget, that for filmmaking is absolutely tiny. We're talking, you know, that covers flights. I mean, for instance, right, for the last, since COVID, it's cost us £1,000 to simply hire the car. So if you're out for a month, then, you know, basically you're looking at £1,000 just to kiss goodbye to the vehicle, right? And that's been for I think that's been for the last Suriname, Costa Rica, and the next field trip, which is a secret, of course, right? They've all cost to hire for a month £1,000. Well, I just you're not right. Before COVID, it would have cost us £600. So the prices have gone through the roof. Flights, well, we'd have paid £600 in the past for a flight out to anywhere in the world. Guys always hunted down the cheap tickets. They're now costing £1,000. Right. So, you know, the cost of putting these projects together, and I need a film crew. The truth is that me and Guy, okay, basically, you know, Guy's DOP is the film, but we need a team. You can't just, I mean, worst case scenario, there's a pair of us could do it by ourselves. Although probably Guy would have murdered me at that some point and buried me in the forest, right? But, right. But you know, we have a highly professional team of guys that have been collecting for decades. These guys know what they're doing, and with that team, it means we can operate incredibly efficiently, right? But it's expensive, and that's why we couldn't do this without the Kickstarter support, right? And recently, you may have noticed on the front of the documentary, I have executive producers, and I can't tell you, okay, how important these guys are, because they're not just giving you, you know, 50, 60, 70 quid. They're basically putting hundreds of pounds into the project, right? And, you know, they are absolutely invaluable to what we do. And so the executive producers will be asking again, okay, anybody who's running a business will be asking, do you want to become an executive producer on our projects? Right. And support and participate in this thing. All right. So, I mean, one of the big drawbacks is these things are so expensive to produce, but every year we've brought you the product. We haven't let you down once.
That's it. Yeah, and it's always been absolutely fantastic. You know, you can see the amount of effort that goes into it, not just obviously you out on location and all of the filming, but also the editing and everything that goes into making it just a seamless documentary to watch, you know, from beginning to end. It's so easy to watch. And I can just, I just sat there and just watched it. Okay, I had to pause it a few times to write some stuff down. That's only because I'm doing this, but yeah, it just, they're absolutely fantastic. And I, for one, am so grateful that you guys do it, because it is a lot of work. And sleeping the way that you have to, you know, you must be too tired to do it.
Oh, I'm still young. Right.
Yes, absolutely, you are.
He is. Andy's always the fittest one of the lot of us. He's 15, 20 years older than most of us. He's the first one at the front. He's at the top of the hill first. And
well, if that's true, Guy, then you need to get yourself a bit fitter if you you're not.
I know. Tell us about it.
So going back to obviously then what the documentary is all about is obviously, you know, the Theraphosa blondie, which you thought was the blondie in 2012, going back in 2022, rediscovering it there, and then actually finding, and after all you've done with the going to the laboratories and everything that you've found, it turns out that it is a new species of Theraphosa, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit more on it, or
you can do that, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit as well, it's for me as a project, it's the arachno history as well. I mean, it's one of the very first blondie. It's one of the very first tarantula spiders described. You know, you're looking at a size, the size of a dinner plate. It now turns up in Europe in the early 1800s. And this spider is basically, and we talk about Latriel, we talk about Walkener. These guys avoided the guillotine by the skin of their teeth. I mean, Latriel, the man who is one of the most famous entomologists, stroke arachnologists of the beginning, if you want, of our studies of our hobby. I mean, the guy almost didn't make it. I mean, he came pretty close to being guillotined. Walkener as well did a run-up. I mean, this guy realized that basically turn yourself in right, you're going to basically go to the guillotine. So Walkener does a run-up, and these are the two key arachnologists of the period. It's got a great story. Yeah, we're using amazing footage as well. And Guy, I think we agree with me. Every documentary we make is more ambitious, and looking much more professional. I mean, the pair of us, obviously, you know, are working as a team. And Guy's a brilliant editor. He takes, you know, I hand him a jigsaw puzzle, and he basically builds the picture, right? And he's obviously out there in the field as well, filming. So the pair of us, okay, if you want the researcher and the director, the writer, and then Guy is totally right in the sense of the visuals and putting it all together and crafting it. That's what editing is. It's a craft into the story. And we want to tell you the story. We want you to sit down at the beginning, and they are incredibly long because we're never going to do this again. Nobody else is ever going to do it again. And we want to give you all this information. Well, we could just basically produce a Animal Planet type thing, right, with no information, or a little tweak of information, and yet another worthless documentary that is not going to be very important. But we are horribly aware that we are making documentaries about tarantulas, in many cases, will not be here in 100 years' time. But our documentaries, right, and we send them, I put them, we send off to BFI archives, they go off to archives. And it's highly likely that in future, 100 years' time, you're going to be watching other researchers going, Andy and Guy's footage is absolutely unique. There's nothing like it. And we're filming spiders that nobody else has ever filmed. And I suspect nobody else will ever film. And at some point, they're going to disappear. And the one thing that shocked the pair of us, having done this, Guy's been doing it like me, right, for a long while, is we're now going back to places where we've been before, and the spiders are not there, right? And you know, I think it was the Brachypelma one. I was on a hillside where my own spider, Baumgartner, we found how many years ago, and I think I was almost in tears when we walked the whole length of it. There's not one spider; they're all gone, not one. Right, and we visited site after site, and they just weren't there. I think the pair of us were really shocked at that point. It hadn't become that apparent until you go back to places, right? And the spiders are simply not there; they're gone. And that's really sad.
It is really, really sad. But you know, as you've said, your documentaries are going to go down in history. As you in the beginning of yours, and you're talking about, you know, going back into the 1800s and the people that you're talking about, and you know, giving us information on. That will be you guys, you know, in many years to come. Which is, you know, honestly, what you're doing is just absolutely outstanding. I can't thank you enough. So personally,
yeah,
but yeah, so Go on. Sorry, Jeremy. Go.
I was just going to say that, you know, with that being highlighted in documentaries, you know, talking about going, it was really unique, is that you can literally say that I've been here before, 2 decades ago, and compare it to now. It's really important for the hobby, especially because, you know, as you may know, the hobby's fueled a lot by wild caught stuff, and, you know, the demand for big spiders. You know, I don't want to wait this many years for a spider to grow up. But if we although we're not the main factor, obviously this habitat destruction, global warming, stuff like that do play factors into the extinction of these species. We do play a factor. You know, the hobby demand gets the collectors going out and collecting more and more and more. So it's nice to show, although it's not a nice reality, it's nice to show that, you know, the animals are disappearing in the wild, and that we need to play a part in captive breeding to keep and stop the demand of wild caught, to stop these collectors going out and poaching them. Which I know was a highlight that you mentioned in the Theraphosa documentary in regards to the pinned specimens. You know, even with that, you know, we could just, you know, encourage captive breeding, something that my hobby is captive breeding as well. But yeah, that's just a little tangent I wanted to say. I find it really interesting that you showcase it, and it's good for the hobby. It's a good wake up call.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, like for them to be able to go back to the same location and identify that, you know, particular spiders have decreased in numbers it's very sad, but it's a true reality. And for you to tell everybody, you know, it's the thing that we don't, you know, see, or we wouldn't even imagine was really happening. You know, you might read it somewhere, but when it's coming from you guys who've actually been there, you've actually seen it with your own eyes, it means so much
we
more.
see it in real time. I mean, if you watch that Ephebopus documentary, there's that section where we're on that was at Babenhall again in 2012, when they were just building these huge expensive houses for the locals. And it was right on an Ephebopus colony, so we sort of relocated them once, and it was amazing to go back 10 years later and see the houses that had been built, and on a positive note, find that the spiders had moved back into the same spot and were actually just in the lawn of that posh house.
Yeah.
So in some ways it's good, because, you know, spiders, you know, they're quite adaptable. Especially Theraphosa, we found it's quite nomadic, moves around. It seemingly moves around quite a lot. So again, just because you go there 10 years ago and you find this embankment and there's lots of spiders in it, then if you go back 10 years and not there, they might not just be on that embankment. There could be something else. So they've moved on. So it's very hit and miss what we do. Ralph did it. He went back in, I think it was 2021, was it, Andy, when Ralph went?
Yeah, 20. I'm sure it was 21. Yeah, it's just
he sort of followed in our footsteps, and he found some really nice big spiders. And then when we went back, sort of a few years later, we found less, you know. So it's not always an indication that they're not there. They're just that they're moving around quite a lot. But definitely with the building work and the building sites, and we often see a lot of deforestation with illegal loggers. It's a little bit dangerous sometimes when you're just walking through a forest and you come across this patch and there's all these local people illegally taking trees out. So we try and film that, but obviously they don't want to be filmed. So we do see a bit more. It's a bit more clear to us about the threats that the spiders have. But also good to go back and find that they are adaptable and they can relocate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember the pokey one as well. We went back to Metallica, a site where we found the spiders 20 odd years ago, but we knew they'd been field collected, and what we found was the Metallicas in that site completely disappeared. They'd been collected to extinction, and in that scenario, you think, well, okay, the spiders can come back again. They're obviously elsewhere. They'll drift back onto the location. But we found, of course, that the holes in all the trees have been reoccupied by these ferocious tiger beetles. And with that discovery, it dawned on us, the spiders can't come back. These guys have now taken over. They're the dominant predator of the dominant predator of the site now, where the tarantulas would have been, but not anymore. And these guys can easily take out a young tarantula with no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're formidable looking beetles, beautiful beetles. Even I was impressed, right? You know, and they were bigger than anyone's. I mean, both being guide, do lots of lecturing. We take animals into schools, etc., etc. And in the past, we've used the classic tiger beetle because they're beautiful beetles. But this was twice the size of anything we'd ever seen before. The pair of us just thought, put it in the hand and went, wow, look at you guys. You know, this is a beautiful beetle.
Absolutely
So,
huge.
but yeah, as far as tarantulas are concerned, right, Pokey's right, can forget about it. They ain't coming back on that site. These beetles now dominated. End of story.
Yeah, certain ones like that Metallica site was a great example because it had been extremely over collected over the years.
Yeah.
But you know, most of the time the locations we're at, nobody knows about them. We don't really share locations with anybody, so we're trying to keep them safe. But we're talking about. I don't think. I don't know if you agree, Andy, but I don't think it doesn't seem. Maybe I'm just not aware of it or anybody who's doing it. But I think because the laws are there now, because back in India for their Metallica sites, it wasn't actually technically it wasn't illegal to collect them, was it? Because there was no law against it. So in theory, nobody broke the law. But now it's a completely different set of rules across the world. So I think a lot of people are being stopped and made examples of. So I think there is a lot less actual collecting. Maybe not, but hopefully there is because the laws are now in place. So it's hopefully stopped it. And captive breeding has really come on, isn't it? You know, when me and Andy started in keeping spiders, you were lucky if there was 15 species available 40 years ago. Now there's hundreds and hundreds. So no, it's going the right way for the hobby, I think. Less collecting and more captive breeding, which is a great thing.
Yeah,
100%.
About the you know, rules being put into place. I don't know if you guys have been following the Peru trip that a few people were doing in America. So Richard, Moran. So Richard put out a video. So they said when they came back, they went for extensive searches to see if they brought anything back with them, and that is like, you know, really good. Although it's pretty daunting, you know, coming back and you're like, whoa, I didn't take anything. Though it's nice that authorities are looking out when people are posting stuff on social media. So like, you know, if someone was to go out on a trip, people at least they're keeping an eye on things, you know. Just making sure that these animals aren't being taken unnecessarily, and especially with the stuff from Peru, high altitudes, they're not going to survive in our low altitude hobby. So I think that they're doing a great job so far, and hopefully it will continue to further improve in the future.
Hopefully. So you named the new species Theraphosa surinamensis. Surinamensis. If I said that right.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And you mentioned that you had some DNA taken when you was in the Netherlands at that lab. Any news? You don't have to tell us, but any news on those DNA results?
We've started the DNA side of it. Stuart's busily, aka extracting DNA and sending it off to another lab. So Leiden were really, really good for us, right, in the sense that they actually extracted their own DNA from their own material, and then but so we should know, but we are really confident we're looking at a brand new species. There's no problems in that sense.
Amazing.
Right. The DNA is interesting though, because Ephebopus, for instance, right, is on the very extreme edge of the range. Right. So it's always that oddball Theraphosa. When you actually look at it, if you lined up all your Theraphosas on a table, you go, you're an oddball, aren't you? You're just not that it's not the chunky big boys right from the Guyanas. It's the kind of Venezuelan spin-off, and that's what it already is. It's a Venezuelan spin-off. Right. And then, of course, you got the new one, Spinipes. Now, that is a beautiful cat among the pigeons. You've got to admit it, right? You know, what is it? Right. Is it probably Sturmy? If you said to me, Andy, put some money on it, I'd go Sturmy. In which case, so, and if it's possible to extract DNA from that specimen, which is incredibly ancient, I suspect was stored in spirit of wine, has been horribly abused. So the chances of extracting a decent bit of DNA are probably really remote. But if we actually went back to that spot and recollected, now that would be really interesting, right? Because we know roughly where it was found. So, right, that must be another expedition to come. Right, we are looking at the Amazon, by the way. That is one of our big projects for the future.
I'd just like to say, though, I'm a little bit upset with Andy because if this turns out to be all correct, and the paper gets published, I have not seen Theraphosa blondie in the wild.
Oh no, yeah. Ooh. That means that you're. Oh no. So, I'm gutted for you. That means you'll have to go back and find one.
Okay, French Guiana then, right?
French Guiana, it's going to be French Guiana, isn't it?
Yeah, it's have to be.
We
But
can
we
have
know
that,
it's on the
Guy.
Amazon. So Guy will get to see it because basically one of our projects is to go down the Amazon in an old steamboat. Right,
There you
they've
go.
got these wonderful old ones. So, and we're going to follow in the footsteps of like Pickard Cambridge, a wonderful British eccentric who blew out his brains with his brother's service revolver, as you do, right?
Well,
So we're going to be following in his footsteps, Bates as well, right? And but we will see Theraphosa. It's a parrot, so you will get to see Blondie. It will happen, Guy.
All right.
Trust
it will
me.
happen. Andrew's going to make sure of it. He really is. He's going to make sure of it.
Yeah, he's going to have to find
Fantastic
it, though. I'm not finding it for you, right?
No, you've got to find it, guys.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. So we got a few more people that have joined. So let's go and have a look and see who we've got. Oh, my computer's not working properly. Damn. So we have Rocky Mountain Spider Freaks. Hey guys, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. We also have Angela Bonnet, one of my moderators and one of my very, very, very good friends. Hello, Angela. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Lovely. We also have the Enigma Den. Hi all. Hello. Thank you for being here. OC Tarantulas. Hey guys. Let's have a look. Anybody else that I haven't said hello to yet? Spider Ling as well. I don't know if I said hello to you. I can see your comments. Just going down. Silver Webbers. Hi. Saying hello to everybody there. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So at this point, do you want to talk about the Ephebopus murinus and that part of your documentary?
The B side, if we were musicians.
The
right,
B
huh?
side.
The B side, right? Yeah. As I said, we actually shot 3 docs piggyback. Usually we shoot 2 documentaries, but we were incredibly over ambitious and did it. We shot 3. So obviously, right, the main one is Theraphosa. You know where you stand with that. And obviously Ephebopus as well, not just murinus, which of course is the skeleton trench. It's a beautiful trench. And then we also shot the whole series of co-stars, if you want, as well, right, we found along the way. In that sense, right, Rick West, who is the main Ephebopus man, right, when it comes down to having described them, having field collected in French Guiana, that documentary is pretty much profiling him, because those of us that, you know, obviously are into the taxonomy and the history, know that basically Ephebopus is really Rick West's spider. It's his genus. He's done most of the work on it over the years. That's why we chose to profile the documentary on Rick West. And he gave us an awful lot of his fieldwork notes and information, which proved absolutely valuable on the project. And of course, we've also got this extremely beautiful rare footage of Ephebopus rufescens mating, which is absolutely unique. Now people go, "You faked it?" No, we did not. Right, we did not. It's just one of those really weird scenarios where the spider just turns up. We had a very similar thing years and years and years ago when we were filming Desert Tarantulas. Okay, we were filming a female burrow, and in those days cameras were enormous. You had to have lighting. None of we dragged so much kit up onto that hillside. Me and Sullivan, right, who's now unfortunately dead, passed on, is really one of my really close friends. Me and Sully, right, spent night after night on those hillsides filming. We had all the cameras rigged up. We're waiting for this female to emerge, and she comes out, does a little thing, sits out there, and then out of nowhere, this boy turns up, marches across the desert floor, right, and joins us. Right? And we're sitting there thinking, what? But at the same time, we're horribly aware, because you had halogen lighting, that the batteries were slowly draining. right, we were losing all the lighting. So you almost say, get on with it, right? You know, just always kind of thinks about it. And we're watching our batteries go slowly, the lighting's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, right? So that is the similar scenario. Out of nowhere, this boy just turns up. In fact, they were, the guys were all packing. We were at the end of the filming. It was all over. The main cameras had gone down. The batteries had completely run out. We'd been filming for 2 solid days. And then basically, it's all pretty much on handheld cameras. Right, so it's the most amazing piece of footage, and it looks so good.
Only bettered by the Costa Rican footage.
Oh,
but we'll leave that aside.
We got amazing sequence there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting
we'll
because at
when
least
we do the Kickstarter for Costa Rica, we'll just give you right, just a little tweak of it, just to kind of tease you, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Guy, you said to me before we started the stream that you wanted to play a bit of footage from the documentary.
Finally's happy with that. I've got about 15 minutes worth of footage. So if we can play that, it'll give everybody a bit of a break as well.
Does everybody in the chat want to see a bit of footage?
So I'll just explain where it fits in. So this is sort of 2/3 of the, half, 2/3 of the way through the Theraphosa one. So basically, we talk about the 2012 trip, and then what happened with that. A good friend that I've travelled with before, Ralph Conan, BTS member, decided because of COVID we weren't traveling that year. So Ralph and Nick, his friend, went to Suriname and visited the sites that we went to try and find the spider. And he had some good finds. So that his footage is in the documentary. So the bit we're going to watch is basically leading up to his little section, and then we'll talk about, Andy will explain a little bit about the spider and why we think it's different, and a little clip of the one we found as well in 2022. So it lasts about 15 minutes. So we're going to have a watch of that.
Awesome. Okay, just give me one moment and then I'll get it up. Can you see that on the screen? I'm not sure how it's sharing it. It's here. Add to stage. There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Right, so I will press play.
So let us go forward in time from 2012 to 2018, where you would have found me working my way through my old field research notes and viewing hours and hours of video footage that we'd filmed many years before, in preparation for a return back to Suriname, this time with a film crew. Now, it was at this point while viewing the video footage that one of my team members, Ben Vignald, pointed out that he thought that the spiders we'd found all those years before were a tad different from his specimens of Theraphosa blondie, which hailed from French Guiana, which is what you will remember Peter Klaas had also told me many, many years before. Unfortunately, the images that we took that day were not at the right angle for me to clearly see any real differences. But Ben was convinced that the spider we had filmed all those years before was not Theraphosa blondie, but a new species of Theraphosa, which did arouse my interest. But as is the way of these things, I decided for 2019 that we weren't going to Suriname, we were going to India to film Metallica and make a separate documentary on Hanima Villa Sumica. I then proposed that we put on the back boiler Suriname for 2020. And of course, as is the way of these things, COVID struck and we lost 2 years. And then the day was saved when Ralph Conan, who was a cameraman on our Pelana Bias film project in Zimbabwe and in Tanzania, proposed that he would like to go to Suriname, revisit all of the old sites that we filmed on all those years ago, and shoot fresh footage of Theraphosa, Avicularia, and possibly Ephebopus. As you can imagine, I was overjoyed. Now, one of Peter Klaas's sites was south of Pocketron, which is where the road ends, and from that point onwards, you now have to catch a boat. But, of course, there is always a fly in the ointment, and the fly in the ointment was that we weren't actually sure where Peter Klaas had actually found his spider many years before, other than it was upriver, south of Pockegrom. So, Ralph, along with Nick Hughes, was going to have to hoof it. Fortunately, after a couple of days on the river, they found a guide who was familiar with these large spiders, and he led them to a spot 5 k's upriver, where eventually, after tracking into the forest, they found a large female. But unfortunately, they were unable to tickle her out. Unsuccessful, Ralph headed north to the Brownsburg Hills, where he knew that we had found our Theraphosa spider 9 years before. They arrived at the Brownsburg Research Station at the top of the hill with the coming of dusk. They sorted out their room and settled down for the night.
Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Sleep well?
Yes, very well. Very good.
Today will be the day.
And finding a Theraphosa burrow on the forest floor is never, never easy. Probably within half a mile of where we found our spider on the Brownsburg Road, they found theirs. But their spider wasn't in a rat hole complex on the forest floor. Their spider was in a burrow in the embankment. Now, what's interesting is that just like Rick West's images in French Guiana of Theraphosa blondie, we're looking at a distinct silk mat outside the burrow entrance. And I think that this indicates that this spider's been a resident inside this burrow for some time. Now compare those images with this second burrow, which appears to be a crude lizard excavation in the embankment with our second Theraphosa specimen. Now notice there is barely any silk, which I think indicates that this spider is going through a nomadic period and will be moving on within a day or so. What was fascinating, though, was that when the spider was out of its chamber and onto the ground, the differences that both Peter Klaas and Ben Vignall did indicate became much more apparent than on the spider that we had photographed in 2012. Now remember, when we photographed that spider all those years back, we were not searching for this feature when we photographed it. Look at the legs, particularly the femurs. Now look at the huge amounts of long, wiry hair, which becomes even more apparent in these carefully lit photographs that Ben Vignall took in order to highlight this difference. Now compare them with Sturmey, a complete lack of long hair on the dorsal surface of the femurs and the patella. On Blondie, the femur has no long hairs, but these are present on the patella and the tibia. On Apophysis, the long hairs are considerably more delicate, but like our Suriname specimens, they are present on both the femurs, patella, and tibia. But with the Suriname material, their hairs are long and wiry. Plus, of course, Suriname males lack a tibial spur. Apophysis males have a tibial spur.
We managed to get her out. We had to dig a little bit, but we did manage to preserve the burrow. And we're going to put her back now where we've taken her from. Oops. Come on, darling. Home sweet home. Good girl. There. Job done.
When we screened Nick and Ralph's footage of a Theraphosa spider over and over again, examining that specimen closely, observing the differences, the elephant in the room was, of course, was the spider that we were filming in Suriname Theraphosa blondie, or a new species of Theraphosa? So let's get back into the field then, but not 2012. We've now moved on to December 2022. Now, our base area was a small motel complex on the John F. K. Highway, which runs from Paramaribo on the coast to the end of the road at Pockegrom. It was basic, but absolutely perfect for our needs. It was exactly in the right spot. So I rented the building for the month. And to remind us that it was the end of the rainy season, on that very first day, it rained all night. Now, we had hoped to stay in the same eco-lodge at Babenhole, which we'd used way back in 2012, but unfortunately, the Suriname River had flooded during the winter of the previous year and destroyed a number of these lodges, which are dotted along the river. This is Babenhole, and 10 years ago, we rented this, what was essentially the manager's office and his bedrooms, from the Babenhole Plantation Company. Now, unfortunately, in 10 years, it's gone bankrupt, and now the whole of this estate is completely, utterly overgrown, and the jungle is busily encroaching back on it again. But for 1 month, 10 years ago, it was the perfect base for our little expedition. Now, unfortunately, we were shooting film footage, but it was of a quality that we can barely use today. But you can imagine, we were here in situ on the very edge of this rainforest. It meant that we could just go into the forest, work it all day, find the spiders, mark them with fluorescent tape, and then go back at night and busily film them again. So we've come back, and we're hoping to relocate our spiders and shoot this time footage in 1080. Although throughout this documentary, we will pop in little bits of surviving footage from that period. But I must admit, that expedition 10 years ago with Paul Carpenter, Guy Tansley, Michael Jacoby, myself, well, it really was very, very special. I got incredibly fond memories of it. So anyway, I'll tell you what, let's go and have a look at my old bedroom. And in this room, this is where Guy Tansley and Paul Carpenter slept. And just round the corner here, well, this is the kitchen. And on that old gas stove in the corner there, that's where Paul Carpenter used to whip up for breakfast egg banjos. You're thinking, what on earth is an egg banjo? Well, it's a basically fried egg sandwich. And behind this door is my old bedroom. And as you can see, it's not been taken over by the local bats. We dumped our bags at the motel and then we hit the road. And I should point out at this point there is but one road, which runs south alongside the river until it reaches Pockegrom. And at Pockegrom, the road ends. And that is where a trip up the river begins. As you can imagine, I was very, very eager to visit these brand new sites that Ralph and Nick had rediscovered Theraphosa. And so we headed upriver from Pockegrom, south, to explore these new forest locations. Unfortunately, we were unable to enter the forest at exactly the same spot Ralph and Nick had done so, due to the fact that after heavy rains, the river was high and the embankments were flooded. So we landed 2 gays further south at an abandoned chicken farm. And with a GPS location that Ralph had supplied, we hiked inland, up a trail through the forest. And as is the way, within half a mile of starting down the track, we rolled a log, flash of grey legs, and we faced our very first false alarm of the day, one of which there would be many. So we shouldered our packs and we hiked along a meandering trail that ran alongside the river. Now, it was still very early in the morning, but we were horribly aware that although we had the day ahead of us, we had to be back at the abandoned chicken farm by 5 o'clock, as our boatman was not very happy about the idea of going back down through the rapids in the dark. And once we reached Ralph's GPS location, we dumped the rucksacks and we fanned out in search of Theraphosa burrows. Now, searching for Theraphosa burrows on the forest floor is never very easy. It's much easier in a roadside embankment. But what you're looking for is a slight gradient, and you're hoping to spot a rodent hole, and of course, if you're lucky, a touch of silk. Now, what was interesting is that the area that we've been walking through and the area that we were now exploring was essentially secondary cleared forests. Now, I was expecting this far south to be looking at primary rainforest, but all along this riverbank, it was secondary cleared. There were a number of trees with buttress roots, but much of it was what I would call growth that's regrown back again over the last 30, 40 years. We scoured that area for hours. Rodent hole after rodent hole after rodent hole endoscoped. Each one, you check the burrow entrance for silk, and then, in hopeful expectation, push that camera down the burrow in the hope of a flash of furry legs. Each time you do that, you're hoping that it's not going to be one of the others that call out Theraphosa. You're hoping it's going to be you that finds the spider first. And then we heard it.
Theraphosa! Very nice one. Super adult. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Champagne.
Nice one. The main man strikes again. So we stopped, grabbed our bags, camera equipment, and all headed off in the direction of that voice. Well, we got to the spot to find a triumphant Ben and an endoscope image that told us the lady was at home. Now, look at that burrow entrance. No sign of silk whatsoever. The only way Ben could find that spider was using the endoscope. But the problem with Theraphosa is, often with this spider, there is only the first tickle. After that, the spider goes on the defensive. So unless you actually catch that spider and extract it that first time around, it becomes increasingly difficult to get the spider out of the burrow. Now, if you are lucky and a spider emerges completely out of its burrow with that first tickle, you can immediately block its retreat with a gloved hand. But if that's not to be the case, if the spider only partly emerges, you've now got to put something behind the spider. And what you're hoping is then by gently moving whatever you've put behind it, and in this case, it's rubber-tipped tweezers, gently moving the spider forward, it will emerge again completely out of the burrow. But this is a very big, powerful spider, and it refused to do so. And we concluded that if we carried on trying to push it out of the burrow with the tweezers, we'd damage the spider. So we abandoned it.
So there we have it. That just, fantastic. That piece itself is the perfect piece to play right now. I tried to screen record some of that and then put it so that I could play it, but for some reason it didn't work. But that's why it didn't work, guy, because you wanted me to play it. Absolutely fantastic. And we had some good comments going down as that was being played. Bird Spoilers CH, he did say, I need to join your T Blondie trip too if this one turns out to be a new species. So just to let you know, you've got somebody that wants to tag along. Is it?
Yeah,
not?
that's Martin. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Martin.
Martin.
Martin. Yeah, he does amazing work as well. His stuff's really brilliant as well.
He does.
Definitely
It's
worth checking out
fantastic.
his channel.
Yeah.
Definitely
So Martin, I
worth
know where you'll be
checking out
going
his
now. You're obviously visiting Suriname.
I think he's been to Suriname though, hasn't he? He has been to
Oh, he'll
Suriname.
be going back.
He
Well,
has.
the temptation's there.
Going back. So yeah, absolutely amazing. And then we've got somebody. I've just placed an order. Can't watch to watch and read. Yes, absolutely. So as you can see at the bottom, scrolling along there, visit lovetarantulas.com to buy your DVD copy or download link. And with that said, God, do you think it's about time we did the giveaway?
Yeah, come on. Yeah. No tough questions.
What we?
No tough questions.
No, not too.
Random selection out of somebody in the chat.
So what we're going to do is StreamYard has its own way of doing a giveaway, and all you've got to do is simply add into the comments hashtag. I think it's hashtag. Does it say hashtag or is it just say lovetarantulas.com? Let me just have a look quickly on the big screen. Oh no, just match text. So love tarantulas is what you need to put in the comments. Just love tarantulas, all one word. And we'll do this one for the DVD first.
Yeah.
Yep, for the DVD first. So if you want to win the DVD, and this is open to everybody that's in the chat there, and it can be sent anywhere, can't it? It's not just
Yeah,
UK.
anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Andy's paying for that. He can go anywhere.
Anywhere. There you go, Andy.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. But we've got some coming through already. We'll give them a little bit of time for it to catch up as well, because it does kind of lag a little bit. Jackie JG's Cats and Things, it's just love tarantulas. Drop your hashtag off, my lovely. You used to have to put a hashtag, didn't you?
You need to put, if you click start collecting, maybe I think it goes to a hashtag.
Does it?
Yeah,
Let's
if you click.
see. Oh no,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you've already got 10 entries. So just love tarantulas in the comments.
I should have just clicked start collecting. Thank you, Jeremy. That's why I need you here. Yeah, there you go. Now you can actually see exactly what you've got to do. I'm out. I don't need to. Someone else can have it. You're just here for the mug, right? I'm sure I saw a comment from you. So I just need that mug. Awesome stuff. BTS lectures and dinners official says already have the download and DVD thanks to Andrew and Guy on Saturday. There you go.
Hey.
You must have gave it to them at Hellfest, maybe.
Yeah. If you'd have been there, Amy, you'd have got one as well.
Oh no, I'm so sorry that I just couldn't make it. Unfortunately, babysitter fell through. So we went camping instead, which was good. It was good.
Great.
I fell over. That wasn't good, but
Sober.
I was sober, yeah. A lot of people said, oh, how much have you had to drink? No, I haven't. I just do this for fun. So, yeah. So we've got how many now? Is that 12?
Yes.
12 entries. Anybody else? Because we're going to hit draw in, should we do a countdown? 10. Should we go from 10? So in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I'm going to hit draw.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Who's it going to be? Jackie! JD's Cats and Things, congratulations, you have won the DVD. If you want to contact myself, lovely, with your address, and then I'll pass it on to, well, will it be to Andy if he's going to be sending? Okay. Let's put you in so that I don't forget.
Jackie.
And now, congratulations, Jackie, but let's, can we do another one. Do we have to go back? 1 second. Okie dokie. Let's. So what shall we choose now as the word? You guys throw something at me.
Theraphosa.
Theraphosa, absolutely. In capitals. Let's do it in capitals. Come on. Gotta be in capitals. Theraphosa. And this is for the download link.
On the go.
Sorry?
Yeah. I was just saying on the go watching.
Yeah, on the go watching, absolutely.
And that will include the Ephebopus link as well. So it'll be both documentaries.
There you go, guys. Get those entries in.
That's how long? 2.5, 3, 4 hours worth of footage.
No.
4 hours worth of footage and 6 months worth of editing.
All worth it.
I can't wait to start the next one.
You can do it, guy. You can do it.
Also on Saturday, I gave back Andy all his USB sticks that he sends me through the post.
How many was there?
About 25 of them, I think.
Wow. Wow. Right, so we've had 9 entries so far. So if you entered for the DVD, obviously you didn't win, enter for this one. You may win this one. It could be that people have not spelt it right, maybe. Yes. Let's have a look and make sure that the spellings are correct for people. Let's see. Yeah, that's completely spelled incorrect. That's my husband, everyone, so he knows that he doesn't need to enter it. He's just getting involved there, and I think so Rocky Mountain Spider Freaks, you've done it in lowercase. I think you might have to do it in capitals because it's matched the exact text, I believe. Oh, and they've done it. They have done it.
Fantastic.
Awesome stuff.
Entries more than
how many do? Wow, yeah, more entries. That's amazing. Okay. Right, well, let's do it. A 5 countdown. Ready? Good luck, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to hit draw. Ta-da! Who's it going to be? Oh. Spiderling! Congratulations. You won the download link. If is it just an email address that they will need, Guy, for that to give over?
Just an email address, yeah.
There you go. So if you pop over your email address to me, you can get me on Facebook.
I do believe I did send a male Theraphosa sturmy to Spiderling last week.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Timing.
There you go. Absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've gone too far. I didn't want to go back that far. 1 second. Oops, there you go. Right, so for the mug.
Oh, the mug.
What word shall we use?
It's gotta be itchy.
Itchy.
Itchy all caps.
Yeah.
In capitals, itchy.
Got me scratching now.
Scratching already at the thought of it.
Yeah, already.
There you go. Spiderling says he's a beaut.
Yeah.
Itchy. Come on, guys. This one should be easy. Have you got a mug to hand, Guy, that you can show?
I don't, unfortunately. Andy's got them all, I think.
Hey.
He's got to find it in that room of treasures.
There it is. Right.
There it is. Let me see if I can put you full screen.
Right, there we are. Right.
Not sure how I can do that.
Right. Oops.
Ah.
Theraphosa, Ephebopus. The mug.
Just remove that for a second.
But not
There
the
you go.
executive mug.
Yeah, it's just the part of the Kickstarters. One of the tiers was the included merch, which is the t-shirts and mugs. So no one outside of Kickstarter's got that mug.
Oh, there you go.
And exclusive and not for sale anywhere else. So
we go.
Exclusive.
Yep, a one-off.
A one-off. Right, so let's add that back. Here we go. Itchy, itchy. I saw OC Tarantulas wrote moist and then put, oops, wrong live. Like a little bit of banter there. It must be Mark then that's on there.
yes,
Nice
Mark
illustration.
always
Right,
helps out with the illustrations, and
he does.
obviously he added that brilliant illustration of the Theraphosa on the Love Tarantulas logo. So thanks to him for that.
Good.
Yeah,
It's great. It's really great.
Cheers,
You
Mark.
should do that like with every merch for every documentary. You should place a different spider on.
yeah, they're all slightly different. If you look at the Kickstarter rewards, the Metallica one had a blue spider on it, so they are slightly different. Personally, I wanted all the Theraphosa ones to be just brown t-shirts. I don't think many people would have worn them. It's not very rock and roll, is it? To have a brown t-shirt. Yeah.
It would stand out.
Maybe a woolen one as well, so it was really itchy when he wore it.
Really itchy. Yeah. Would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So we now have 17 entries for the mug. So let's do this then, shall we? Let's go. So good luck, everybody. I was going to say congratulations. We haven't even chose anybody. Good luck, everybody. And I'm going to press draw in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Good luck, everyone.
Who's it going to be? Oh my God! He said he was only here for the mug.
Really?
That's
that them?
That's perfect. That's
rigged.
absolutely perfect. It's rigged. No, it's not. It's not rigged. I promise.
There we go.
I
Congratulations.
wouldn't even know how to rig anything. Go in each.
That's
yeah.
rigged.
Find out it is in Timbuktu.
It's all right. Andy's sending it. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Congratulations, dude.
Love it. Thank you so much for giving away those items. That really does help. And yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to add? Anything else that you think needs to be said?
Thank God it's over.
Till the next one, guy.
Yeah, we finished our role's finished, isn't it? Yeah.
We started this project in 2012. And we came back to it in 2022, and it's now mid 2024, and it's just finished. This is how long by the end of it, we've watched these documentaries, these clips like 1,000 times. And today is the greatest day of any project because it's over, and we never have to watch it again. So it's out there. But,
that's it.
It's not long before we launch the next one, which is, of course, the Costa Rican documentary, which, as Andy said earlier, we've got tons of great stuff. So we will be launching a Kickstarter for that in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh,
so we'd appreciate any help we can get with that. Help. It still will happen, but it makes it a lot easier for us to plow that same money into the next trip, which is already, the flights are already booked for this year's trip, which we can't talk about.
Secret.
We're always sort of 12 months ahead, aren't we? So we'll get back with the footage, and then we work on the Costa Rican stuff from the year before. So we've always got stuff in the can.
Yeah,
So-
always something to do.
Yeah, follow Andy on Facebook, obviously, on Love Tarantulas. It always gets announced on the website, and we've got that Kickstarter page. You can sign up to that, and that'll keep you updated. And it's usually the same people who come back and pledge again. So we really appreciate everybody's support and help. And yeah, it's something we really enjoy doing, and it's great to finally get it out there again.
It is. It is, and I can't wait. It's going to be excellent, and then we'll come and do this again when that one's out. That'd be absolutely perfect. Yeah,
and that's part of the reason why it was so delayed, because we're sort of 6 months behind. It should have been out in January, really, but because of the whole new discovery of doing all this extra research and all the museums across the world, that's why it's been delayed. And we didn't want to release it on a just on the ending where you just said, well, we don't know whether it is or not. So now we're pretty sure it is. So there's still a few things left to do, and we couldn't wait until the paper was published, obviously, because that's going to be another while yet. So we took the plunge.
You decided not to have a big cliffhanger.
Yes, because then we'd have to come back to it, and then maybe you need a good. As Andy's, he's a screenwriter as well in his past. He knows that's why, apparently it's not Marilyn Monroe on the logo; it's his Auntie Jean, for copyright reasons. That's why the likeness of Marilyn Monroe's on the logo, because it's all linked with film and spiders and Hollywood and scripts and movies, and it brings all together Andy's interests. So Andy, to write a good story, you need a good ending, and that's why it's been delayed. So we do apologize for the delay, and we did change it.
Well, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, so we'll get a full a finish really to it. So it's brilliant.
Yeah. One of the last things that I do want to say is obviously at the end of the DVD you had In Memory, and I just wanted to make sure that dedication was shown here as well. So it was in memory of Stuart Longhall's mum and obviously Guy Tansley's mum as well, who sadly both passed away in 2023, I believe, whilst you were still out there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a really strange time. Yeah, Stuart's mother went, and my mother went a few weeks later. During the field trip. Yeah.
So not to end it on a sad note, but just to obviously show that tribute there.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for that. Yeah,
it was perfect. It was perfect.
The first spider I ever kept was in the family home in the living room in a fish tank, and she didn't say no when I said, "Can I have a tarantula?" And that's where it all began. So yeah.
Right behind you all the time. There you go.
Thanks.
So with all that said, I think that this wraps it up for today. So just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to do this on my channel. I really appreciate that you guys ask me to do this, because it's absolutely fantastic. And thank you massively to everybody in the chat who's been here with us the whole time. Congratulations to those guys who have won the giveaway items. Huge thank you to Jeremy, my right hand man, for being my co-host and making sure that I press the right buttons.
Sing a little tune in there for you. Did you see that Anclamites? We stuck it in there for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right. I just say, guys, right, tomorrow morning I'm going to be heading off down to the post office with 3 big carrier bags of DVDs to basically post. Okay, so all those people that actually order their DVD, you guys, tomorrow morning they'll all get hit in the postal service. So feel free. We need you to buy DVDs or download, whatever you fancy doing, because our role is finished with this project. We now need you guys to step in and enjoy it. Okay. I think it's the most ambitious documentary we've ever made. My own feeling is probably the best tarantula documentary that's ever been made as well. And it hotly follows the Pokey, which we thought was pretty good, but this one's even better. But we now need you to buy it or download it, right? And
it's only £2 per section, and there's only 2 sections, so you can watch the whole thing for basically £6.
That's with Ephebopus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 3 documents. Basically, each one is feature length. Each download is a feature length.
Yeah.
I guess you're getting an awful lot of right for your money.
So for one coffee that you skip in the morning, you get a wealth of knowledge for just
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's the collector's DVD box sets. If you're really into collecting and you've been collecting the whole set, well, okay, it's a beautiful DVD package. It looks really good.
So just to add there that the mug goes to Germany. I hope that's not too big a deal with shipping costs. You can pack it with the DVD you ordered at the beginning of the stream.
So they've ordered a DVD as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll have to bear that in mind, Andy, when you're packaging it up. Probably go separately. It's probably easier.
Yeah, exactly right. And obviously the postage costs are really weird. You only have to basically put 2 things together, and suddenly it doesn't just double in price; it quadruples in price.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really weird postage.
You may well be getting them separate then.
Yeah.
So just a few more of saying thank you for the documentaries and giveaway. You're very welcome, obviously. Yay, the tarantula said. Oh, I see tarantula said. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that one back up. Hang on a second.
What did he say?
Wait, darling, I'll be with you in a minute. Thank you for a lovely live, all of you. Thank you for being here. Rocky Mountains by Free says good night, superstars. Amy's Web, awesome stream, and obviously nice one, guys. See you at the lectures 2025.
Right.
Definitely.
In your diary.
Yes, make sure. Fear Not Tarantulas says that staff are fighting over the mug. You may want to get another one down there.
Fear Not Tarantulas, really thank you. You did a huge contribution to this Kickstarter. So
yeah,
really
they did. Yeah,
that.
Really appreciated. Right.
Yeah, many thanks for that.
Tim says thank you, Andy and Guy. Your work is an inspiration to the entire hobby. I have to agree.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tim.
Buy and download. Last one here. What have we got? Great stuff, Andy and Guy, on the hard work for this documentary and findings. Looking forward to watching it later. Great idea for the live stream launch. Yay! Brilliant. And lectures are the best, which they are. Fantastic.
Yeah, first look at the Costa Rica doc in March.
There you go. So make sure you just head over to the British Tarantula Society website, where you will find links to be able to book tickets for the lectures. And I'll be there, Guy will be there, Andy will be there.
I'll be there.
You'll be there.
And I'll be here.
I'm hoping he will be there.
Thank them, but they keep falling on a time where I'm like, and I think next year it's during my uni placement again. So I'm like, damn it. Well, I'll have to book it in advance, and I'll have to see, because I need to get to one. I do.
You do.
Oh, really quickly, IC Tarantula says, I asked if there were any plans for another baboon documentary.
In Nigeria.
Right. Bye.
Hercules. No, that's another big tarantula. I've dreamed of collecting that. I don't even know where it is, Guy. I know exactly where it is.
We're not going to Nigeria, remember? We're going to Malaysia.
There you go. There's your answer. Tim says he'll be at the lectures. I believe that's what that is. Yes, Tim. That'd be great. So if anybody wants to talk scorpions as well, then he's your man to talk to.
He's your boy.
He's your boy. Sure is. And Amy's Web says she hopes to make it this year. That'd be next year. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Okay then. So that makes a wrap of it all. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, and yeah, I'm half an hour off from finishing the third installment of the download, so I'm going to get back to that now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
See ya.